So for this project, I had trouble picking the three texts. One of the big things that I noticed is that I don't write unless I really have to. So I didn't have a lot to choose from when going back through my saved files and looking for texts to choose from. The first category was easy to cover. I picked an essay that I did as a final paper for my lifespan development class, which I took just last month. And this final paper discussed the development and developmental changes in a particular period of life. So I had chosen pregnancy and childbirth and postpartum period, and talked about the development during those stages. It was a 5-page paper, so a lot to look into and kind of analyze. The next category, the second category, was a little more difficult for me. I realized that I don't really write unless I absolutely have to, which is usually for school. So I had trouble finding something. I did look through some texts and emails, but I didn't really find anything that I thought would be worth analyzing. I know with my texts I keep things very short. If I answer at all, I have trouble with that. So I felt it wouldn't have fit well with this assignment. I did end up finding a speech that I had written for my church. We do a mission trip every summer, and then we have a church service when we get back to kind of explain how our trip goes. And so I did a speech one year to talk about my trip for that year. So I thought that would be a good one to analyze. So I chose that one. And then for my third text, it's actually two separate texts. It's kind of in the vein of both categories, but it follows more kind of the first one. It was for a class. However, it was more journal entry type assignment where we were talking about just what we thought about the class and how we were doing and things like that. And I chose 2 different journal entries from that class because I wanted to kind of analyze the change in them. I know the one was very short. It was towards the beginning of the class, and the other one was a little bit longer and a little bit more detailed. And I figured it would be interesting to kind of look into the differences between those two, even though they were kind of for the same purpose, kind of seeing why maybe one was a little bit more detailed and longer than the other. I think the biggest theme that I'm going to focus on and investigate is probably this idea that I don't really write for anything unless I absolutely have to, kind of focusing on being told to write for a specific purpose and not just writing because I feel like it, and how I followed those guidelines of writing based on a rubric and specific topic that I have to cover, and how well I do that. I know I've still struggled, even though when I'm given set guidelines for specific writing assignments, I still struggle with writing that well. So I think I want to focus on, even when I'm given set guidelines, how well I do that and what's missing and what I can do better. And questions I might have. I thought maybe I could include some of those texts as well to kind of help with the theme of how much I don't write, how much I try to avoid writing, and I want to know if that's a little bit too much. And if there's anything else that maybe I should kind of dive into as well. I wish everybody luck on the project, and let me know. Thanks.